They saw me in suit and assumed it was luck. Some said, he has finally made it. Some said, there must be something suspicious. Some even whispered, maybe he joined something dark. But none of them remembered the nights I went to bed hungry, with my phone under my head because I was afraid it would be stolen. None of them remembered how I counted coins as if they were gold. None of them remembered how I became the joke of the compound. So when they saw the new me, they were shocked. Because I became the version of myself they never imagined I could become. My name is Martins Friday. And this is my story. I grew up in a compound in Port Harcourt where everyone had two things: a mouth and an opinion. We had one shared tap that worked only when it felt like it. We had a landlord who collected rent the way pastors collect offerings. And we had neighbors who had no money but still had pride. In that compound, if your life was not progressing, you would hear about it every day. Auntie Esther would stand by the corridor and shout, "Look at Martins again." Always walking as if he's going for an interview, yet no job. My friend Jimmy would laugh and say, "Don't worry. One day your time will shine." But Jimmy repeated that same line every month, like a prayer that never received an answer. I was not angry with them. I was angry with myself. Because I was trying. I was fighting. But life was not listening. I finished school with good grades. But Nigeria has a way of looking at your certificate and saying, "Nice. Now go and struggle." Every morning, I woke up early, ironed my only good shirt, and left the compound. Sometimes, I walked from mile 3 to GRA just to save transport money. I entered offices, supermarkets, logistics companies, even small shops. They collected my CV, glanced at me, and said, "We'll get back to you." They never did. After a while, I started hearing that sentence even when no one spoke. Then one afternoon changed everything. I entered a large office building for an interview. I was nervous but hopeful. At the reception, the lady looked at me and asked, "Can I help you?" I smiled and said, "I'm here for the interview." She looked at my shoes. They were clean, but old. Shoes that had survived too many disappointments. She stood up and said loudly, "Cleaners should use the back entrance." I froze. I said, "Excuse me." She repeated it. Louder. People turned and stared. The security man even pointed. That way. That moment burned into my chest. I did not fight. I did not argue. I simply turned around and walked out. Outside, I sat on the pavement. For the first time in my life, I asked myself a question that shook me deeply. "Martins, do you want to be pitied for the rest of your life?" That question hit me harder than the receptionist ever could. When it got dark, I stood up and went home. That night, my mother called from the village. She asked, "How was your day?" I wanted to lie, but I couldn't. "Mommy, I'm tired." She stayed quiet for a moment. Then she said something I will never forget. "My son, if you are tired of where you are, you must respect what will move you forward." I asked her what she meant. She said, "Some people pray for change but refuse discipline. Some people want money but refuse to learn a skill. Some people want honor but refuse patience. If you want your life to move, you must respect what can carry you there." That night, sleep refused to come. All I kept hearing was one sentence. Respect what will move you. 2 weeks later, Jimmy came to meet me. "I found something small," he said. He told me his uncle needed help in a printing shop. A printing shop. I had a degree, but hunger does not respect certificates. So I went. The shop was hot, noisy, and always smelled of ink. The owner, Uncle Kola, looked at me and asked only one question. "Can you work?" I said, "I can learn." He laughed. "Here, learning means doing." That same day, I started working. Carrying paper. Cleaning machines. Running errands. Once again, I became the lowest worker. At first, I hated it. But I watched Uncle Kola design. I watched his hands. His shortcuts. His confidence. One day, I asked him, "Uncle, how did you learn all this?" He said, "Hunger taught me. Stubbornness helped me graduate." That sentence changed me. That night, I borrowed Jimmy's laptop. I opened YouTube. At first, everything looked confusing. I almost gave up. But my mother's voice returned to my mind. Respect what will move you. I watched one video. Then another. Then another. I slept at 3 a.m. The next day, I practiced. I made terrible designs. Uncle Kola laughed and said, "Martens, this looks like a funeral flyer for chickens." I felt ashamed. But I did not stop. Every night, I learned. Work during the day. Study at night. While others slept, I practiced. Not because I was strong, but because I was tired of being insignificant. One Friday, Uncle Kola traveled. A man walked in and said, "I need a design now. My event is tomorrow." Everyone panicked. They pointed at me. "This one has been trying." The man asked me, "Can you do it?" Fear almost made me say no. But I said yes. I sat down, shaking. I remembered everything I had learned. After some time, I showed him the design. He stared. Then he said, "This is good." He paid me. He even added extra money. That was my first victory. But money did not come easily after that. Some people valued my work as if it were worthless. A man in the compound, Osohon, asked me to design a logo. I delivered. He said he would pay later. He never did. He blocked me. That night, I almost quit. But I remembered the receptionist. I remembered the pavement. And I told myself, if I stop now, they win. So I made a decision. No more free work for people who did not respect me. People complained. They said I had pride. But it was not pride. It was boundaries. I rebranded myself. I named it Martin's Friday Visuals. I posted my work like someone who believed in his future. One day, a message appeared in my inbox. "I saw your design work. Are you available for branding?" That message changed my life. I delivered quality work. She posted it and tagged me. More jobs followed. Auntie Esther started greeting me properly. Jimmy started calling me a boss, even if it was a joke. Osohon suddenly remembered my number. I just smiled. Then one day, Mr. Bamedio called. A corporate job. A meeting. An office. Fear tried to stop me. But I went. They accepted me. They paid in advance. Good money. That was the day I crossed the line. With that money, I bought my first proper suit. The one in that picture. I looked at myself for a long time. And I whispered, "This is the version of me they never thought I could become." People stared. Some smiled. Some were confused. I did not explain. Success does not need explanation. Months later, I returned to that same office building. The same receptionist. This time, she stood up. "Good morning, sir." Later, she apologized. I forgave her. Not because she deserved it, but because I had moved on. Today, I mentor young boys like Kelvin. Because I remember being laughed at. And I know this truth. Your future is not controlled by people's opinion of your present. Sometimes, greatness hides inside rejection. Sometimes, your rise begins inside humiliation. Respect what will move you. And one day, you will stand as the version of yourself they never believed existed. Because the truth is simple. The man you are trying to become is already inside you.